Aliko Dangote has announced plans to develop Nigeria's largest port in the Lekki Free Trade Zone. The billionaire's group.
Okay. No, I think it's not only government support. There was also a question of the NNPC.
Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, is setting sail on his boldest project yet, Nigeria's biggest deep-sea port. With plans to revolutionize West African trade, this megaport will not only reduce shipping delays, but also boost the country's position as a regional logistics hub. It's a game-changing investment in infrastructure, supply chain efficiency, and economic growth. This story was first originally reported by Global Construction Review News. So, what does this project really mean for Nigeria, and could it reshape the continent's maritime future? Let's dive into the full story. Why Dangote's port is a game-changer for Nigerian trade. Nigeria is poised for a transformation as Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, has accelerated plans to build the continent's biggest port. The massive project, officially called the Lekki Deep Sea Port, is designed to reshape Nigeria's logistics infrastructure. With a projected handling capacity of up to 2 million 20-foot equivalent units, TEUs, annually, this port will crush the current limitations of Lagos's Apapa Port, which is notorious for traffic jams and inefficiencies. Just last year, Apapa recorded congestion delays averaging 5 days per container, costing the economy billions. Dangote's vision aims not only to shift cargo volume, but to streamline import-export processes. Recent data shows Nigeria's non-oil export volume dropped by 12% in Q1 2025, underscoring the urgent need for modern port capabilities. The Lekki port promises state-of-the-art equipment, post-Panamax cranes, automation systems, and integrated customs facilities. Located within the Lekki Free Zone, home to Aliko Dangote's industrial empire, the Deep Sea Port, developed by Lekki Port LFTZ Enterprise, is set to reshape regional trade flows. It's being positioned as a global logistics hub. The total investment is projected to hit $2.5 billion, supported by Nigerian institutional investors and international development banks. The impact? Tangible and transformative. Over 10,000 direct jobs are expected in construction, operations, and support services. Beyond that, around 30,000 indirect roles could emerge across sectors like trucking, warehousing, and trade logistics. By tackling long-standing supply chain bottlenecks, this port isn't just an infrastructure project. It's a blueprint for Nigeria's emergence as a West African trade powerhouse. For many, it could redefine the region's commercial future. Breaking free from oil, how the port fuels diversification. Building Africa's largest port isn't just about cargo, it's about economic diversification. Nigeria has long relied on oil revenues that account for about 60% of government earnings. But in 2024, oil prices plunged and revenues shrank by nearly 20% compared to the previous year. In response, the government launched economic reforms to boost non-oil sectors, especially agriculture, manufacturing, and services. Dangote's Lekki port is set to become a game-changer for Nigeria's economy, especially in reducing the nation's logistics costs. Once fully operational, Nigerian Ports Authority is projected to cut annual logistics expenses by a staggering $2 billion. That's critical considering that inefficiencies in Nigeria's current logistics systems account for nearly 15% of GDP losses in trade-related activities. The port's advanced infrastructure, streamlined import-export processes, and faster customs clearance will empower businesses with lower operational costs and quicker delivery timelines. For Nigeria's expanding manufacturing base, including Dangote's cement plants, flour mills, and fertilizer facilities, consistent and timely access to imported raw materials will boost output and competitiveness. Exporters stand to gain too. Nigeria earned about $3.5 billion from cocoa exports in 2023, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria. But logistics challenges kept those numbers from going higher. With Lekki's enhanced cargo handling capacity and access to global shipping routes, exports of cocoa, cashew, and solid minerals could increase by 25% within 2 years. Beyond trade, this port supports a broader economic vision. With over 60% of Africa's population under the age of 25, better infrastructure means more jobs, new entrepreneurial ventures, and a vital step toward reducing dependence on oil revenues. No more gridlock, rail, road, and power behind the port. One major advantage of the new port is its integration with rail and road networks. The Lagos-Ibadan Railway, revitalized in 2022, already offers faster freight movement inland. Linking Lekki Port to this rail corridor ensures goods flow efficiently into the heart of Nigeria. The proposed Lekki-Ipi Expressway upgrade will offer a smooth road route for trucks. Currently, heavy vehicles traveling from Apapa Port spend an average of 7 hours navigating Lagos traffic, a holdup that spills into supply chain disruptions and increased costs. Lekki will cut that transit time by approximately 60%. Moreover, Dangote is working closely with federal and state governments to enhance power supply in the region. The port will rely on both on-grid and off-grid solutions, including solar and gas-powered backup systems. Power stability is critical to the success of Lekki Port. It ensures that key operations like cranes, refrigeration units, and customs processing function seamlessly around the clock. To complement this, a suite of innovative security systems is being implemented. These include smart surveillance cameras, biometric access gates, and drone patrols designed to provide 24/7 monitoring. This tech-forward approach is aimed at slashing cargo theft, which costs Nigeria an estimated 150 billion naira, about $325 million every year. Beyond security and power, the port's integration with modern transport corridors and renewable energy sources adds another layer of resilience. From electric cargo haulers to solar-powered systems, Lekki Port represents a forward-thinking solution to decades of infrastructure gridlock. It's not merely a shipping terminal, it's a new blueprint for how Africa can modernize trade logistics. With private sector vision and smart planning, it addresses long-standing bottlenecks and positions Nigeria as a true logistics powerhouse. Going green: how the port balances growth and the environment. The environmental implications of the port have also been front and center. Coastal ecosystems near Lekki are home to wetlands and mangroves, which support rich biodiversity. To address concerns, Dangote's team invested in environmental impact assessments and remediation plans. They promised to preserve over 200 hectares of mangrove and rehabilitate another 150 hectares of surrounding wetland. A recent report from the Nigerian Conservation Foundation applauded the inclusion of buffer zones and sediment control measures during dredging operations. Additionally, the port's operations will feature eco-friendly initiatives, wastewater recycling, zero-discharge policies, and reduced carbon footprints through electric rubber-tired gantry cranes. Early estimates predict a 30% reduction in CO2 emissions per container compared to existing port operations. Further, by equipment electrification and fuel switching to cleaner options, the port hopes to meet international environmental compliance standards such as ISO 14001 and the International Maritime Organization's new fuel regulations. Community engagement is another priority. Roughly 1,500 local households have signed agreements to participate in mangrove planting and monitoring projects. As a result, the project will not only safeguard coastal ecosystems, it will uplift local communities by offering income and environmental stewardship roles. By combining infrastructure growth with green development, the port demonstrates that modernization and conservation can go hand in hand. Big money moves: the $2.5 billion behind the build. Financing the $2.5 billion Lekki Port showcases a strategic public-private partnership model. The Dangote Group is contributing significant equity, while Nigerian pension funds, channeled through the Infrastructure Corporation of Nigeria, Infraco, are providing long-term investment capital. International support adds further strength. In early 2025, the African Development Bank approved a $400 million senior loan, signaling strong institutional confidence. Additionally, the China-Africa Development Fund is expected to invest another $300 million. This diverse financing structure not only ensures the project's completion, but also sets a precedent for how large-scale infrastructure in Africa can be sustainably and collaboratively funded. To mitigate risk, the government issued a partial credit guarantee for up to 30% of debt financing, reassuring lenders about sovereign backing. These structures allow for staggered disbursement and clear repayment timelines. The port's revenue model rests on throughput tariffs, terminal leasing, and value-added logistics services. Nigerian Ports Authority projections suggest annual port revenue could hit $250 million by 2028, with a 12% compound annual growth rate, generating stable returns for stakeholders. Meanwhile, the government secures access to modern infrastructure with limited upfront outlay. Tax incentives and 5-year holiday provisions sweeten the deal for investors and operators. These collaborative financing efforts show that even megaprojects in developing nations can attract global capital, provided they're structured transparently and backed by solid economic fundamentals. Nigeria goes global. The port that could redefine West Africa. What does this mean for Nigeria's place on the global stage? By building the largest port in West Africa, Dangote is positioning Nigeria as a logistics gateway for the entire region. Neighboring landlocked countries, including Niger, Chad, and Mali, could use Lekki Port for imports and exports. Just last month, Niger's trade ministry expressed interest in developing pipeline connections to coastal terminals. This port could help transform the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS, into a more tightly integrated economic bloc. Analysts believe that improved transit infrastructure like Lekki Port could significantly boost intra-African trade, which currently accounts for just 16% of total trade, well below global averages. This aligns with the goals of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, aiming to streamline cross-border commerce. Once Lekki becomes operational later this year, major global shipping lines such as Maersk, MSC, and CMA CGM are expected to reroute significant cargo volumes through it. Preliminary projections indicate the Nigerian Ports Authority will handle 600,000 TEUs in its first year, with plans to scale up operations to full capacity by 2029, transforming regional logistics. For regular Nigerians, this could translate into lower consumer prices due to cheaper imported goods and fewer shortages. It could also encourage local manufacturers to expand output. As Africa's richest man leads this initiative, it sends a powerful signal. Ambitious, private sector-driven infrastructure can complement national goals and redefine Nigeria's economic potential. In short, Lekki Deep Sea Port isn't just infrastructure, it's a statement of intent. Nigeria's future is global, not isolated. With Nigeria's biggest port on the horizon, Dangote's vision is steering the country into a new era of global trade power. This isn't just a personal legacy project, it's a national pivot toward modernization, self-sufficiency, and economic competitiveness. If completed on time, it could be a turning point for West Africa's shipping industry. Special thanks to Global Construction Review News for breaking this major development. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Is this Nigeria's leap toward becoming Africa's trade gateway, or just the beginning of bigger ambitions?